Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about the latest deal from Mike Lindell, MyPillow. Once again, the big box stores have canceled their orders simply because they don't agree with Mike Lindell's politics. They don't like it because he supports President Trump. Well, he's going to pass that savings on to you. No more middleman. And boy, does he have some great deals on the Giza Dream sheets and the Percal bed sheets. Listen to this. Giza Dream queen size, normally $139.98. Your wholesale price, $69.99 when you use promo code Joey. King size, only $79.99. The Percal queen size, normally $89.98. Your wholesale price, $29.98 when you use promo code Joey. Just call 1-800-893-4059 or go to MyPillow.com. Always use promo code Joey. Free shipping options available. This allotment's not going to last very long. When they're gone, they're gone. MyPillow.com. Promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. It's another busy day. Glad to have you with me. Bill Maher admits that he was wrong about President Trump's tariffs, admitting he doesn't see a country in depression at all. We have the full details on this story. A father in Phoenix was arrested for leaving his children in a hot car while he, wait for it, was in a porno video shop. We have an update on the story involving Daniel high school football players assaulting one of their own. The Pickens County Sheriff posted a video statement yesterday. And South Carolina GOP Chairman Drew McKissick joins us to talk about the latest in the South Carolina gubernatorial race, as Congressman Ralph Norman just made it official this week. He's going to run.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Well, folks, stop the presses. Bill Maher just said that Donald Trump was right. Yep, you heard that right. On his Club Random podcast, Maher, the same Bill Maher who's made a career out of torching conservatives, admitted that he was flat out wrong about Trump's tariffs. And I'll give him this. At least he owned it. That's more than you can say for most of his type of people, most of the Hollywood elite. Here's what he said.
Tariffs. Now, I remember along with probably most people, were saying at the beginning, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the country the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty.
Again, you have to give him credit, don't you? I mean, when he says, I thought these tariffs were going to sink the economy, and they didn't. That's the fact. Imagine that. Reality over rhetoric. Facts over feelings. What a concept. To acknowledge and admit when someone has done something good, when they have actually succeeded, even if it is Donald Trump, your arch enemy. What Maher and all of these people, these Hollywood types, need to understand that when Donald Trump wins, the country wins, they win as well. We all win. When our country wins, it's good for all of us, regardless of your party affiliation. Maher even went a step further, saying that the country doesn't feel like it's in a depression. He said that he sees people out living their lives. The stock market's hitting record highs, and he's not pretending otherwise just because he's not a fan of Trump. Credit where it's due. Maher's one of those rare libs, I guess, willing to admit when his predictions are wrong, when he goes bust. But let's not forget, this is the same guy who once rooted for a recession. He was actually hoping we would go into a recession to get Trump out of office, to show that Donald Trump was an utter failure. It didn't happen. So a little self-awareness now is welcome, even if it is a bit late. Meanwhile, remember what the so-called expert said when Trump started hitting China and Europe with tariffs? The media screamed trade war. It's a disaster. The Democrats predicted economic doom. We were told farmers would suffer, prices would skyrocket, jobs would vanish. Well, we have had some prices go up. We have had some jobs go away, but we've also had jobs we've gained in the job market as well. Fast forward to today, and we've got more jobs than people to fill them. The middle class is regaining a footing. Manufacturing's ticking back up. And for the first time, countries that took advantage of us are back at the negotiating table. Donald Trump is winning, which means you are winning. I am winning. Bill Maher is winning. Hollywood is winning. And guess what? Just yesterday, we talked with you about this massive trade deal with the European Union that Donald Trump single-handedly negotiated. Europe's dropping tariffs on American exports, and they're buying up to $750 billion in U.S. energy and investing another $600 billion here. In exchange, doesn't sound fair, but we're going to slap 15% tariffs on most EU goods. That's a win, plain and simple. And guess what? They're happy about it now. Because in the past, we just assumed that we had to take what they gave us. We had to grin and bear it. Now, they're happy to deal with us. They're just happy that we're going to sell them our goods. They're just happy that we're going to let them continue to send us their goods. Because the fact is, we're too large of an economy for the EU or anyone in the world to ignore. They have to have us. So here's the takeaway. While the media is still stuck on Orange Man bad, even guys like Bill Maher are waking up to reality. Trump's economic policy is working. Yes, there's more work to be done. Yes, there are more gains to be had. Yes, we need more jobs. Yes, we need prices to fall. We need the price of eggs to drop. We need fuel to continue to drop. But think about what has happened in just 6 months. Think about the direction that this huge ship is turning. And a ship doesn't turn very quickly. But Donald Trump's pushing it. You don't have to like his tweets. You don't even have to vote for him. I would encourage you to do so, although you'll never get the opportunity to vote for him again. He's in the middle of his swan song here. But if you're going to talk about results, be honest about them and admit that Donald Trump has done a lot of good in these first 6 months. And if Bill Maher can do that, maybe there's a hope for the rest of Hollywood. By the way, and it's not just Bill Maher. Fox News released their latest polling data primarily on immigration. As immigration and customs enforcement continues to push to enforce federal immigration law, this new poll finds that Americans are a little divided over how aggressive the agency should be. Nearly half of voters say that ICE is being too aggressive in deporting illegal immigrants. But despite that, a strong majority still backs deporting at least those who've committed crimes. Get them out of our country if they've committed crimes, in addition to coming into our country illegally. According to the survey, about 30% of Americans want all illegal immigrants deported, period, end of sentence, while 60% support deportation for those who are charged with crimes, allowing others to stay and pursue a path to legal status. Just 10% want all illegal immigrants to remain in the U.S. These numbers have been pretty stable since about 2015, when the immigration debate began taking a more central role in American politics. Unsurprisingly, there's a sharp partisan divide on the immigration policy, though. A majority of Republicans, 54%, support deporting all illegal immigrants, compared to just 7% of Democrats who say they all should be deported. 25% of independents also. Meanwhile, 8 in 10 Democrats, along with 6 in 10 independents and 4 in 10 Republicans, favor a more targeted approach. Deport those with criminal charges and allow others to stay. When it comes to ICE's approach, 49% of voters think the agency is too aggressive. That's almost half. 24% say it's not aggressive enough. 27% say they believe that the actions are just about right. Now, you got to understand, this 49% who believe that they're too aggressive, a lot of them are basing that on what they're seeing the mainstream media report. And you know the mainstream media loves to report the narrative that Donald Trump is sending a bunch of hoodlums out there rounding people up who shouldn't be rounded up. So they're not getting a fair assessment there. Now, among Democrats who were polled, 81% think that ICE is overstepping. Republicans are more mixed. 43% say ICE is getting it right, while 40% of even Republicans say that they're not doing enough. And just 17% think they're doing that they're too aggressive. Independents, again, they're kind of split. Nearly half of independents lean towards the too aggressive view. People just believe that when they see these images of ICE interrupting dinner for an illegal who's wanted for murder back home is taken out in front of his family. And look, that's hard to watch. But if they're here, they've broken the law coming here, and they're wanted for robbery or assault or murder or whatever it is back home. And in some cases, they've also broken our law here in addition to coming here illegally. They got to go. It's time for them to be escorted out of our country. When asked what worries them most about illegal immigration, the top concern wasn't crime or jobs. It was the strain on government services because we're having to pay for it. 39% of voters say illegal immigration puts too much pressure on public programs, which they are correct. And it takes away from Americans getting the services that we're paying for. Bottom line is, we're headed in the right direction on immigration as well. Joey Hudson here. America is facing a health crisis, and the answer isn't more meds. I lost over 30 pounds on the PhD weight loss plan without Ozempic or any weight loss shots. Don't settle for a lifetime of medication. GLP-1 injections like Ozempic help some people lose weight, but they come with side effects, high cost, and most gain it back when they stop. At PhD Weight Loss, we reveal Big Pharma's big secret. Your body already makes GLP-1, the appetite-fighting hormone. Our program helps your body make it naturally so you'll drop the pounds faster. With the PhD method, no side effects, no long-term risk, no rebound weight gain, just natural, lasting results, all without hunger or cravings. Right now, get a free body scan and personalized metabolic assessment. Discover your body's true potential without a shot. It's free and gives you the keys to your personalized plan. Do like I did and don't trade your health for a quick fix. Call now at 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com. Got a lot of text messages today. I'm going to share a few with you. Please know I'll read them all. I try to respond to as many as I can, just like your emails. I read all of your emails, too, so keep them coming, joey@joeyhudson.com. I try to respond when I can. I can't respond to all of them, but do understand that I read every single one, and I listen to your messages on the MyPillow message line. I'd love to get your messages, 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Is how you can leave me a message, and I share some of those with you here on the show, too. If you don't want me to share it, you can tell me that, too. But I love to just hear from you. Faye writes, well, Joey, I'm sorry to hear that Ralph Norman is running for governor because of his attachment to old Nikki. She'll be back in Columbia if he wins, and that would be a crime, and Nancy Mace needs to save her money. Pamela Evett will always be my pick and the pick of my family. Thank you, Faye. I appreciate your feedback there. Yeah, Ralph Norman did announce that he is in the race. Had a big turnout at his announcement party on Sunday. And look, Congressman Norman will be a formidable candidate. Tony says, Ralph Norman has my vote. No more rhinos for governor. Then Tony does a follow-up. He says, never mind. Disregard Ralph Norman. Anyone backed by Nikki Haley, I won't vote for. So Tony is having second thoughts. Albert writes, good morning, Joey. I was standing outside of one of the Food Line stores in Greenwood waiting for it to open Monday morning. A fellow who was probably in his late 40s was also waiting. He was complaining about the Hooters in Augusta, Georgia being closed. Yeah, I think they all closed, didn't they? He said, I explained to him that it was a corporate business decision. I then said on the good side that President Trump just closed a huge deal with the EU, which will help the U.S. economy. This fellow went absolutely nuts when I mentioned President Trump. He started yelling at me, calling me all kinds of vulgar names. It was absolutely crazy and scary. Trump derangement syndrome is real. Yes, it is, Albert. It is. Trump derangement syndrome is a real diagnosis, and some people just cannot help themselves. You can see the blood. Their face turns red. They start shaking. They start sweating. They have that look in their eye. It's a real thing. They hate him so much, and I don't get it, because their life is going to be so much better and so much easier because of the things that Donald Trump is doing. But you can't convince them of that. They have bought in, they've drank the Kool-Aid, and they just hate this man. I don't understand it. Texter says, hey, Joey, just wanted to say hi from Hendersonville, North Carolina. Linda and I catch you in the evening listening to your latest episode. We enjoy it so much. Bless you and keep up the good work, Linda and Dick. Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you. And look, hope things are going well in Hendersonville. I love Hendersonville. Love Western North Carolina. Spent a lot of time going through there, but thank you. And hey, forward the podcast, forward the dial position, 98.9 WORD in the upstate of South Carolina if you listen on the radio. And let's just keep building our community. Katrina writes on the text line, good luck with the Sheriff's Forum. I can't believe what I see posted in social media. There are a lot of loudmouths I fear will show up in person. You and me both, Katrina. And you're being very kind by calling them loudmouths. She says this position is a hot topic for many. There are too many candidates. We have listened to them all. I hope most people do their research and don't just follow the crowd. Look, Katrina's right. You do need to do your research. You need to show up at our debate on Thursday of this week. It's the Republican primary debate for Spartanburg County Sheriff. It's an important position, and we are partnering with the 4th District Republican Club. Tara Servatius, my colleague that you can listen to on 98.9 WORD. You can listen to her every day from 6 to 10 a.m. She and I will be moderating this. And if you live in the upstate of South Carolina, if you live in Spartanburg County particularly, this is an important race. So be sure and come join us. It's at High Point Academy, located at 6655 Pottery Road in Spartanburg. And we're gonna kick things off at 6:30 on Thursday. And again, and by the way, we're going to have the only straw poll that I'm aware of at the conclusion of the debate. And we'll announce those results on Friday morning on my show on 98.9 WORD and on Tara's show as well. So if you're in Spartanburg and you want to know who to vote for sheriff, we're going to ask some good questions, and we're going to get to know these guys. There are 9 candidates. Passengers on a Delta flight were left stunned when federal agents stormed the cockpit and arrested the co-pilot moments after landing at San Francisco International Airport. This happened Saturday night. It turned a routine arrival into a scene of confusion for the passengers. It was Flight 2809 from Minneapolis. It arrived at 9:35 p.m. after a fog-related delay. It had just touched down when at least 10 law enforcement agents, including Homeland Security investigators, air marshals, local police, their TSA, they boarded the plane and made their way to the cockpit, according to a first-class passenger account, speaking to the San Francisco Chronicle. The officers entered the cockpit, they handcuffed the co-pilot, and escorted him from the cabin, leaving passengers unsettled, I'll bet, and in the dark about what the circumstances were. Now, we have since learned that the co-pilot was arrested for some type of porn, child porn, and they had been tipped off, and they were just waiting on this pilot. So it's a very high-profile incident, and would have to be unsettling if you're sitting there on the plane and this pilot is arrested and you don't know what for at the time. All right, folks, what is wrong with people? I wish this story didn't need to be told, but it's kind of like, here we go again. We're talking about something that should be a no-brainer for any parent, any adult, anyone with an ounce of common sense or decency. You do not leave your kids in a locked car in the middle of the summer, just like you don't leave your pets in a locked car in the middle of the summer. And especially not when we're having these record hot days like we're having this summer. and especially not in Arizona, especially not while you spend an hour in an adult video store. Here's the story. That's exactly what police in Phoenix say happened. According to reports, 38-year-old Arsenio Largo left his 4 young children, ages 2, 3, 4, and 7, locked inside of a car. It was 104 degrees that afternoon in Phoenix. The car was turned off, windows were up, no air, no water, just these little precious children baking in the sun like a slow cooker. By the time officers got there, after they'd been tipped off, the car had reached a scorching 125 degrees inside. These little kids were showing signs of heat distress. First responders say that their skin was changing color. They were sweating, as you can imagine, dangerously high body temps. They were dehydrated, disoriented, scared, of course, and simply lucky to be alive, in spite of their idiot dad. Police had to break into the car to let them out. They gave them water. They put them in an air-conditioned SUV before rushing them to the hospital, and thank God they made it. And where was Dad during all of this? He was inside of a sex shop, inside of an adult video store, and had been there for over an hour. Officers went in. They called out his name repeatedly. No answer. When he finally came out, get this now, and this is probably the worst part as well. When he came out, he pretended the car wasn't his and that the kids were not his. Let that sink in for a minute. Oh, and if that weren't enough, police said he smelled of alcohol and his driver's license had an interlock requirement due to prior issues, but his car had no interlock installed. I mean, that's just multiple layers of negligence. This guy was a bad dude. Why the mother left the 4 kids with him, I have no idea. He's now facing 4 counts of child abuse and 4 counts of endangerment, as he should. He should be put away for a long time. And I want to be clear here. This isn't just a bad choice or some kind of bad parenting mishap. This is criminal behavior that could have ended up in 4 funerals. And for what? A cheap thrill in a dark room while his kids sit outside cooking in a metal oven. That's basically what he did to those poor kids. You know, maybe his punishment should be that they lock him up inside of a vehicle and leave him outside on a nice, warm, 104-degree day in Phoenix. Maybe that would be an appropriate punishment. But look, it's not just Arizona. Every summer we hear these stories. They pop up across the country. Dozens of children die every year. Pets die every year because of these tragic accidents that these selfish, stupid adults allow to happen. We got to stop it. Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Furman Ford text line, you know, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Furman Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Furman Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Furman, Matthew Furman. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Furman Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Furman Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Furman Ford online at furmanford.com, furmanford.com. We have an update for you on the D.W. Daniel High School football player story that we talked with you about yesterday. It broke over the weekend as we started seeing social media posts about this horrific story out of Presbyterian College. Here's a story in case you missed it. Daniel High School football players were at Presbyterian College for a summer camp sponsored by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. A young man was assaulted by three of his teammates. The victim is white. The three teammates who literally beat him are black. Now, there's been a lot of questions about who's going to prosecute, if there's going to be a prosecution, who's doing the investigation, what's next. And this happened back on July the 7th, so it's been kept kind of quiet until the story broke over the weekend, primarily on social media. I first read about it on Facebook when Malarkey News posted some videos. This young man had the presence of mind when he realized that something was about to happen to turn his phone on and to start videotaping the assault. So you can see everything that happened. Pickens County Sheriff Tommy Blankenship released a statement yesterday afternoon explaining what involvement his office will have in this case.
Hey there, Pickens County Sheriff Tommy Blankenship here. Just wanted to take a moment to answer some questions that were sent to me through social media as well as text message about a violent event that took place at a FCA 7-on-7 camp down at Presbyterian College. The question posed to me was, what was the Pickens County Sheriff's Office going to do about the event? Since it did occur outside of our jurisdiction, there's not a lot that we're going to be able to do as far as the handling of the case. But I did talk to the local jurisdictions and received a response from them. The event was reported to the campus police, who then sent a referral to the Department of Juvenile Justice. And the case is now in the hands of the 8th Circuit Solicitor's Office. So I spoke with David Stumbo, who is the solicitor down there, and he assured me that they do have the case, that his juvenile prosecution team is doing their investigation and going to handle all the prosecutorial duties of his agency. I did ask him that they would keep us kind of up to date, since the students do attend a school here in Pickens County, and he agreed to do so. He did warn that there would be limited information that he would be able to release to the public because all of the parties involved are juvenile. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully that clears up some questions that were sent about what our agency can and will do. If you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out here, and God bless you. Have a great day.
So Sheriff Blankenship is basically saying, hey, it's not in my jurisdiction. Now, some people are a little confused about that, because D.W. Daniel High School is in Pickens County, and so people think that Sheriff Blankenship has jurisdiction, but he does not, because the actual crime, and make no mistake, it was a crime, took place in Lawrence County. And from what I understand, as the sheriff said, and I have learned from other authorities, that this will fall under Solicitor David Stumbo. So we'll see. Again, authorities investigating this after multiple Pickens County High School students were involved in this off-campus fight. And it's really raised a lot of concerns. Many of you have texted me, you've emailed me to watch the video, and there have been multiple videos on this. And it's kind of interesting to me, the response, because we still have people who are posting on Facebook, because the overall outcry is that these three young men who beat this guy to the point that he has that he will not be able to play football again, probably ever, because this is his senior year. He's going to miss his senior year because he has a concussion, and his doctor has said that he probably will never play contact sports again. So he's just lost out on that because of these three young thugs, and that's what they are. They're thugs. But it's interesting, some of the responses on social media saying, well, and this all developed because he's accused of having used the N-word. Now, he says he did not. And in fact, the investigating officer at Presbyterian College, who evidently saw some of the initial text messages, say that the N-word was not in there. Now, there's also the charge that there's been some text chains that have been made up. They've been doctored to insert the N-word. We don't know. We'll get to the bottom of that eventually, I'm sure. But whether he used that word or not does not give them the right to assault him, to beat him to the point that he had a concussion, to bruise his ribs, to put his life in harm, and to not be able to play sports again. I don't care what word he used. Nothing gave them that right. But listen to some of these responses. Wallace wrote, I don't agree on him getting jumped at all. I've always been a straight-up one-on-one fighter, which I've always handled the way I've always handled my business. What he did from the 4 different snaps I saw was he was asking for it with the racial comments, but again, the first guy had it in control, and it should have stayed that one-on-one way. I mean, you are not born with racism. It's taught to you, so I can't sit here and blame his parents without knowing them, but he definitely's been around it. But again, I don't have a dog in this fight, just speaking my honest opinion. So this guy, and this is typical, I've seen this sort of a theme, that, well, it was okay for one guy to be hitting him, but it wasn't okay that they teamed up on him. 3 guys did. And they're also justifying it, that it was okay for them to handle him, so to speak, because he was accused of using the N-word. I mean, what adult believes it's okay to ever fight anybody, and especially because of a word that you've used? Another post, this was posted by Eve, says, so many racist comments on this thread, it's ridiculous. I hate that child had to go through this, but I can't help wondering if he had time to set up a phone, wouldn't we have had time to call for help? So she's blaming him that he recorded his assault and didn't call for help. She said, no one truly knows if he actually said it or not, but if he did, pretty sure he learned his lesson the absolute hard and unnecessary way. She said, all these white folks in the comments talking about it's just a word never have had that word said to them over and over again, demeaning them. Again, this lady seems to be saying, well, it's okay because he used the word. He used the N-word. She says you don't get to tell black people how to feel about a word. Most of you are acting ignorant as if you don't know the difference between that word. And she goes on to justify, because, you hear the N-word in a lot of rap. But she says it's different for blacks to use it as opposed to whites using it. And it's how you say it, too, I guess. It's just crazy. A lot of reaction to this story. There was a statement put out by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes yesterday saying July 7th, Presbyterian College campus police were notified of an incident. After an initial investigation of the incident, campus police followed protocol and referred the matter to the South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice. There were no PC students or personnel involved in the incident, nor was the camp sponsored by the college. FCA was renting the college's facilities. I'm sorry, this was from Presbyterian College. We do not tolerate any form of violence on our campus. We hope that due process and justice will be served appropriately. Also, the FCA did issue a statement saying the Fellowship of Christian Athletes is aware of the incident that occurred at camp in South Carolina and took immediate action to address the situation, including sending the involved campers home. Their behavior falls unacceptably short of our standards of integrity, service, teamwork, and excellence that FCA expects of all participants and has no place in our community. We'll see. We'll continue to follow the story because, again, it's not going away. Joining me on the guest line, Drew McKissick, chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. How are you?
I'm doing well this morning, doing my best today to avoid the heat. How about you?
Well, tell me how successful you are. Give me some tips on that, because I don't know. I don't know how you avoid the heat in South Carolina right now.
Well, no, it's not really possible. I'm spending my time in Columbia, which makes it doubly impossible. But the best way to do that is to stay indoors with the air conditioner and hope it doesn't freeze up on you, and you have to call the air conditioner man.
I just cannot imagine having your HVAC go out on you right now. I did read a story the other day where evidently there's still some issues with getting parts for air conditioning units, and people losing their HVAC and then not being able to get the part and having to wait days, if not weeks, to get that. I just can't imagine that with this type of heat. But
it'd be time to go on vacation at that point.
that's for sure. That is for sure. Well, talk about heat. Things are heating up in the governor's race. The field for this governor's mansion got a little more crowded yesterday with 5th District Congressman Ralph Norman making it official. He's running for governor. That now makes 4 official candidates: Attorney General Alan Wilson, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evatt, Senator Josh Kimbrell, and Nancy Mace posted over the weekend that she has a big announcement coming up soon. It's going to be quite interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be busy. And I mean, to me, this just underlines and points out how valuable the Republican nomination for governor is versus the Democrat nomination for governor. How many candidates have you heard announce that they're running for the Democrat nomination for governor right now? Can you name one?
Wow. Actually, I cannot.
Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, that goes to my point. One, the Republican nomination, again, is worth having. Okay. We know Republicans have the best shot of keeping and retaining the governor's mansion, all things being equal. And we also know we've got a deeper bench of candidates, those who are willing to offer themselves for office. And quite frankly, there are a few others out there that I've heard of who may be thinking about getting in. So it's going to be a crowded primary, no doubt about it. And people are going to have a choice. And, I expect when we get down the road, we'll probably be looking at having to have a runoff, come next June. But the point is, you've got 10 to 11 months now before Republicans in South Carolina will pick. And that means our activists and donors, grassroots supporters, potential volunteers all have the time to get out and to hear from them.
Yeah.
Hear what they say their priorities are, ask them questions, get to know them personally. They're going to need help. They're going to need volunteers, which means this is your best chance to get to know them very well and have your number on their speed dial, if you will, because they're going to be looking for people to help. So get to know them and then find a horse and then work with them, support them. And then, again, once our primary is over, we've got one team, and we go forward to win in November.
Yep. Good point. On our guest line, Drew McKissick, chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party. Does having this many candidates on the ballot affect turnout in an off year, a midterm election? Is that going to potentially get more people interested and involved that could help other races down ballot?
Sure. I mean, look, we got at least four open races this year, statewide races. So the governor's race is an open race. The attorney general's race will be open. Agriculture commissioner will be open. Comptroller general is an open seat. So you got a lot of candidates that are going to be running, a lot of candidates working to engage volunteers and donors and get people to turn out. That's that many different campaign turnout operations, if you will, for the primary. So I dare say we're going to have higher than usual turnout in our Republican primary next year. Because of that, that's a good thing. That gets more people engaged for the fall. In terms of, from the party, when we step in to do our job, which is to turn out what I call the generic Republican vote to help the entire ticket, that gives us a boost. That gives us more people out there that we can reach out to and engage with who have been engaged with one of the different candidates at that point. To build our turnout operation to help everybody up and down the ticket. So I expect it's going to be a big turnout.
Yeah. Of course, this is a bit of a domino effect here because you have Ralph Norman and potentially Nancy Mace, two members of Congress who will then make their seat an open race. Does it concern you any that Mace's district could potentially fall back into the hands of Democrats?
No, again, that district, in the last redistricting process was made more secure. We've got more Republicans in that district. And, in terms of having more open seats, as you point out, that would be the 1st district and the 5th district. If that were the case, I've already heard of at least 5 candidates who would throw their hat into the ring in the 1st congressional district. 5th district will probably be a little less dramatic. I know Wes Clymer, Senator Wes Clymer over in the 5th district has said that he's going to run for that seat should Ralph announce. And now that Ralph's announced, I expect we'll probably see Wes Clymer jump in fairly soon. He's got a lot of broad support across the district. I'm not sure if there'll be a primary there. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a domino effect, as you say. I mean, one of the candidates in the first congressional district is a state house member. So if he potentially runs in the first, then you've got a state house seat that's going to be open. So there's going to be a lot to do, and a lot of good candidates who will be looking for volunteer support. And as I point out, this is your opportunity as grassroots Republicans to get to know them. Go and talk to them about their priorities, their issues, your priorities, and then get engaged with them. And, as they go forward, then that means you're potentially on a first name basis with an elected official and, sometimes have more of their ear than the average, person would because you've been engaged. Any candidate who's running for office, one of the first things that they're looking for is people who are going to help them.
Yeah.
And that's the power that you have right now at the grassroots is to get engaged and help these candidates.
Yep. Drew McKissick's always a pleasure. Of course, there's another opportunity to get engaged, too, coming up real soon, the Silver Elephant Dinner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On August the 9th. That is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia is going to be our speaker. If you're interested in coming, you can go to our website, scgop.com, and click Elephant Club. So this is a members-only event, but there are very few tables left remaining, but we have some. And you can go on, join the Elephant Club at RSVP and let us know that you want to be there.
Yep, it will be a fun evening for sure, and a nice crowded room of good Republicans. So it's always an exciting time.
That's it.
Yep. Always a pleasure. We'll catch up again soon.
All right, fantastic. Have a good day.
That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Furman Ford text line 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.